And as you feel yourself now, in this time and in this place, I want you to tell me the very first things that you perceive or the very first impressions that you have as you begin to understand where you are and what is happening around you.
Thank you. I came from a Galactic Federation ship, Athena, as a teacher, sitting on a holographic area of the ship, like the holodecks in Star Trek.
Mm.
And we sat, you and I, and my higher self, the three of us sat on a bench on the holodeck. And as the light appeared, the landscape was shifting between oceans and seas, forests, a place that I'd often visit. And as the source lights appeared, I was shown like the room could become both holographic in physical nature, but energetically real. I could see the heart of Athena, the Galactic Federation ship, and she has the ability to make you feel like you're at home. Any being can support this energy. And we were shown my Akashic records, both future, present, and past. I was shown you as well in two lifetimes at the same time, this lifetime and also my future lifetime. And I saw you with your guides sat in a room, deep in meditation, in isolation, and you wore black clothes with underneath you were showing me like your light body was just super bright and white. And this is when our hearts connected and you joined into the space and the holodeck as we stepped through source. I was shown so many lifetimes, and my higher self was saying it's hard to find one that's exactly like this, but they wanted to show me a lifetime where my gifts were the strongest and yet the most um, jarring, like so different to the time and space around me. And as we were traveling into that lifetime, I was shown a church. It's a monastery. It's a place I visited before, and I had past life recalls. It's a monastery in Jedburgh, which is the it's largely ruined now, but it you can visit it, and it has I think it had around 100 or so monks that lived there up until about 100 years, 150 years ago. And I was showing myself there as I step into myself at this time in that lifetime as a monk. Um, we were Christian in origin, and yet there was our faith was quite expanded beyond only Christianity. And my gifts that I was shown were they were showing me my angelic connections and origins, and showed me that in that lifetime I began to form strong bonds with Archangel Michael, and he showed me and taught me to love darkness, and that you can end war with love and compassion. And he showed me my angelic origins, and at times I would become him. I would become like a fragment of him, like an instance or incarnation of him in that lifetime. And that my gifts and abilities were very powerful. And yet I really found that hard for my mind to reconcile and to understand how such power could help. It felt like taking a sledgehammer to a peanut.
Mm.
How could that power help me and those around me and those I served in Scotland and in the UK and those when I traveled around Europe who there was such that power was such a burden and yet such a gift all at the same time. And I feel like this lifetime is being shown to me to help me understand the steps that I took in that lifetime and how they can help with this.
Mm. In which way was that power a burden in the lifetime of being a monk?
It broke all understandings at that time. Source and God were different. I could be killed for just talking about Source. And yet, this only happened to John 2 weeks ago. For the first time, Source showed itself in as a being, and we spoke together. And although I've channeled and spoke with Source many times, if not every day, it is the first time Source stepped forwards as a being of light. And in this lifetime as a monk, I would see this being of light, and I would sometimes become that being of light.
Mm.
And I'm just being shown when this first started happening in that lifetime. It was when I was a teenager, and I had like an epiphany. It was during prayer, and I saw Source come forwards as a being of light out of the altar in the church that we were praying at. And I remained silent throughout the experience. And yet because I felt that it was wrong. I felt that um, why would God, why would Source come to me and not the the preacher, the priest, the archbishops, the hierarchy of the church? Why me?
Can you tell us more?
Sorry.
I'm crying too. It's so beautiful. And I saw you as a monk before you said that you were a monk in that church.
Thank you.
I want,
Sorry. Go ahead.
don't be sorry. Don't ever be sorry. I want for you to be shown more of your connection with Source. And I want you to understand both in the lifetime as a monk, in your multidimensional being, all that you have ever been, all that you are, all that you will ever be in your infinite aspects. Why you? I want to go to the origins of why you, the origins of your soul as who you are in your deepest core essence.
Because I am born of angel and dragon. Because the dragons were created to balance the power of the angels. Neither good nor bad, just being everything in between and achieving something that our guides and our angels and Source itself cannot achieve is being this balance of darkness and light in human form. And whilst many of us, including you, Aura, including you, have such incredible powers to be able to bring these such high vibration energies deep down into these lower realms where we exist at this time in Earth. The whole universe comes together at this time to celebrate this whole planet. Just as Athena has been orbiting Earth for some time now, all of these races aboard her and those ships that come to us at this time are here to watch and to celebrate our ascension, because it is the frequency that we are raising. No one has done this in the universe before, in any timeline or any incarnation of the universe, to take a race and races of such suppression and such darkness, both within us and between us, and suppressed upon us, and then overcome it with love. because love wins all wars, it ends all conflict. And this is the event, the birthing, the ascension of this planet. And this is achieved through the source of love coming through our hearts. And Source chooses carefully and chooses wisely, deep in soul contracts formed at the beginning of this universe. Source exploring different incarnations, different souls that would be capable in such infinite variety, infinite diversity, and infinite exploration of perfection, creating souls that are capable of holding such darkness and light. And it is as simple as that. For there must always be darkness and there must always be light. And as John heard in his meditation this morning from his guides, we encourage John and we encourage every living thing to seek and explore these diverse perspectives, to seek and explore how we look at ourselves in the sunrise, in the brightest sunshine, at dusk, at the sunset, and through the darkest nights. We are those stars that shine in the night sky. It is our hearts, it's a reflection of our love coming from our hearts out into the universe, reflected back to us. And as we see these reflections in us, as we see that we are both darkness and light married together, we understand the importance of our mission. For with such darkness that we carry, we bring in such light to help raise it, to forgive it, to love it, to see across all these diverse perspectives what we truly are. And it is simple. We are loved. And Source wants us to know this. Every dark corner of this universe is deeply, deeply loved, as every dark corner of the universe within us is deeply loved. And so we are brought to this lifetime as John, as a monk, to see him work through the battle of darkness and light, of good and evil, and everything in between. And we would like to focus for a moment on the darkness that John experienced during that lifetime.
Yes.
And John was, as a monk, was so tired of being told what to do and how to worship, being told what God looks like, being told how God talks, being told that men are not equal, that women are not equal, and that everything on this earth is not equal. There is hierarchy, and this is not true. And so as John began in his prayers, which formed into what we would call more like meditations, channelings, chantings, mantras, communing with nature, John understood that everything is equal and that the power that flows through him in that lifetime is very different to the power that flows through others. And John felt such rage and such sadness and would punish himself for feeling these ways because he understood the church to be good, Source to be good. So why do I feel so bad? And so it's not the first lifetime I've tried this. When I began sharing with others, at first with my elder, with my priest, a man of devotion to God. And at first, he entertained it and saw it as a deepening, an awakening of my spiritual journey. But it became uncomfortable for him as I began channeling and writing scripture, as I began communing with Archangel Michael, and as I began seeing more and more, seeing the darkness in each of us as well. And in my meditations and prayer, just like I can, as John can today, traversing to the lower realms, to the negative realms, deep into hell.
Mm.
There was several years after that there were several years where I was in this kind of twilight of dimming my light, suppressing my gifts. And I, I fell in love. I fell in love with uh, a young woman from the town, and she is my wife. She is my wife in this lifetime, as we have shared many lifetimes. And it's this same pattern we repeat together of me burdening myself with gifts that are feel unparalleled and difficult for others to understand, and then us trying to live a life without persecution, without poverty, without early or untimely deaths. But this lifetime with John is different. This is the lifetime where we are already doing this. I'm just going to pause for a moment or drink some coffee anyway.
Go ahead.
And so I was asking, what about the steps?
Mm-hmm.
What steps do I take? And these aren't these aren't practical steps initially. These are at first letting go.
Mm-hmm.
And the letting go is this construct that I create around me, this limiting framework, this almost matrix of complexity that sits around everything I do. And in that lifetime, I'm drawn to those twilight years. There were 3 years where I dimmed my light. And I became almost two people during, and we didn't sleep much. We only slept about 5 hours a night, and the rest of our time was in deep service. And that I didn't have much time to be myself, but in those 5 hours when I was myself, I would continue to grow my connection with Source, with Archangel Michael, to explore my gifts. Sometimes I wouldn't sleep at all. Sometimes I'd sneak out of the monastery at night and go into the beautiful countryside around me. There's forests and rivers, these beautiful hills. And I would just go out to just be myself. And sometimes I would just scream. I'd like be screaming to the moon or to the stars or to the trees or anything that would listen, to let out that self suppression. And and something happened. There was a trigger event. It was when my partner, when she became ill, I I realized that life doesn't last forever in that lifetime, and that I was given clear purpose and that I wasn't living to that purpose yet. And so I realized that I had to act. I had to start sharing more and to find a way to share with others in a way that they could understand, and to bring them on a journey not just to shock them and to alienate them, or to for me to end up just being imprisoned or worse, killed. And so I asked, I volunteered to speak. I volunteered to speak at sermons, starting each week, each Sunday, and our our roles were also as advisors and guides to the people in the village and surrounding areas, and we would visit their homes and we'd visit around them. Sometimes we would do some trade as well. We would exchange grain or some crops, or like I'm shown like trinkets, and I would like find crystals with the things I loved. I loved sharings and rocks that I would fill with beautiful energy. And Archangel Michael would say to me, find those that need you the most, find them and love them. And it's so simple. Love those that are lost. Love those that have lost themselves to their darkness and that forgot their light. Help them see that they are the stars in their night sky. See their demons and draw boundaries with them, and help those that are lost find their way back to their light, and to have clear steps they can take to return to harmony, sovereignty, equality in their lives. And so I met them at their vibration. I met them in their darkest times. I met those in prison. I met those that are starving, those at war. I met with everyone that would meet with me. And I expanded out my abilities to not just be for those that are, as we would describe now, fully awakened. I would just be there. If all I could do was to be with them, then that's all I would do. If it helped me just being there, listening, holding space for them, that's what I would do. And for those that are intrigued by the magic of the universe and continually seek to learn more and explore their gifts and explore source and all this infinite beauty that we co-create, I would help and guide them also, even in a world with such suppression and later to come were laws preventing us even talking about source or healing or witchcraft or anything. We always found a way. And these are the steps. These are the steps, John. There is a whole planet that needs John and needs us at this time. So many lost souls, so many people looking for some light and hope, and to meet them, find them and meet them at their vibration, and take them on a journey that their free will extends to. And sometimes that's just being there for others, and sometimes it's taking them on astral adventures and everything in between.
Oh,
Wow.
thank you so, so, so much. Since we're here and we're talking about all the beautiful ways that John can help others, I would like to ask you now, how can John come to terms fully with these beautiful abilities that he has, which we all have, but that are so active and alive within him, his essence being so ready to go, ready to live this human experience and help calibrate, balance this human experience, how can he break down the mental construct and limitations and set himself free?
For John to find them, to first know that there are billions of people around this planet that need his help at this time. And whilst John cannot sit with billions of people, John can find those that are the most receptive to his work, to his abilities and gifts. And this is those that have just awakened. And John keeps asking, who are awakened? What does awakening mean? What do they look like? What do they do? How do they even know? And we've been taking John on a journey back to his awakening in 2017 and the preceding years, and how John had already begun the awakening journey before that trigger event. And to see that those that actually pass through their own event, their souls know because their souls decided this would happen. They contracted into this lifetime. And for John to remove, including his network of working with thousands of people over the last 25 years, to remove the 3D constructs and constraints, and to remember that people don't just change when they wake up. They become a little bit lost. They become very hungry to learn. They become a bit scared of what's happening to them. They feel a bit isolated. And that also some people go through walk-ins where their highest aspect of themselves, and sometimes an entirely different personality of them, can step through. And when this happens, it's an even bigger need for them for assistance from people like John. But most importantly, John must not constrain his opportunity, his audience, those that can become his clients. Do not constrain them to those that you never would have thought of in the past, that would be in a position now to want healing and clearing and meditation and learning and mentoring. And this is why we keep putting people into John's life, to show him repeatedly people that are going through awakenings or have just been through recently. Take John back to those moments just after his awakening also. So the steps. Find them, John, find them. Go to the places that these people are. Manifestation, Mandela effect, UFOs, conspiracies, ghosts, anything that is beyond the normal, everything that steps into spirituality, into the paranormal, into the unexplained. This is where you'll find them. You'll find them hungry, just like Neo in the Matrix, as he was so hungry to find out what the Matrix was. These souls have already found their Matrix, and they've just stepped out of it or opened a door and realized that they're awake, but many around them are asleep. To go to the places that they're at and find them and build that client base. And they're just showing me the workshop that I've set up for the 12th of November. So it's like a free workshop to bring in like the newly awakened, and they're trying to show me, like, they're saying to remove to remove the limitations of the audience there. That audience is into the millions, and through next year will be there'll be close to like I'm seeing like a close to 1 billion people that are going through their awakening, and that it only takes 1 in 7 to shift this whole planet. And by the time we reach 1 billion and beyond, there will be a massive portion of this planet. Everyone will know someone who's going through it or have gone through it. Everyone will know someone. Everyone will know someone. They're just showing me like the how different that world is and how it's not very far away. um, so yeah, the first step is finding them and using this time in my transition to help identify them. Go to those places. I've been watching some UFO shows and a little bit about Mandela effect, but they're encouraging me to like to enter those communities, to find those people both online and physically as well.
Thank you. You're doing beautifully. Absolutely beautifully.
Thank you.
And so, when would you suggest that John leaves his part-time corporate job?
So first we should answer time, the concept of time. John might remember this, or he might not remember these transition moments at the end of this lifetime. And to know that the end of this lifetime is a huge celebration, and his ascension is a celebration. There's nothing to fear. And so everything in between him leaving his job, John has said maybe April, May next year, he's made the decision to leave. That is the most powerful, making the decision to leave. Yes. Yes, that was the most powerful energetic shift. And we encourage John to connect with more with his wife in particular, but also his children, and to tell them that he loves them and to ask that they trust him. They do trust him and they do love him. But whenever there's feelings of doubt between any of them, to know that the universe rewards the brave. And even the decision itself was very brave to just end a career at 25 years, of which John has learned so much, that so many would feel envious towards being in such a career. John is ready. There's something changing in the company as we speak, and John knows this. There's plans of reorganizations, and there's just going to be, depending on a variety of circumstances, there'll be the right time, and it could be almost immediately, and it may take as long as into May next year. What John needs to focus on is the remaining lessons that he needs to learn there. And it's taken John some time to realize some of those final lessons, to release and to let go. And the first lesson we want John to consider learning is bringing all of him to that company. Just this morning, John sang 2 farewell songs to two members of his leadership team who are moving jobs. That's one part of John, the singer, the entertainer, have such a gift of expressing love in a relatively unique way. But John is about to begin teaching meditation at work and lunchtimes. That is a good step forwards. We want John to see that where he considered people asleep, that many are actually awake because they hide just like John did in those 3 years as a monk. Remember what a light worker looks like when they dim their light. They're still pretty bright. They're just really unhappy about having to dim their light. And it is in that darkness and in that unhappiness and that suppression that you'll also find them, John. So meet them where they're at. Meet them in their jobs, in their workplace. Meet them where where they suppress themselves the most. And just show them a bit of light. Show them that they can be calm, reduce their stress, connect with their breathing. And to begin with, don't share anything else. Just be there for short meditations with them. And as time goes on, some of these people may become your clients. Some may become people that you mentor. And some may even teach you. And we also want John to leave that company with his self-worth because he lost it.
How can he regain it?
First, John will teach others their self-worth, and in this teaching, he will find his own. Because self-worth is not an action, it is not money, it is not an object, and it is not outside of us. Self-worth is a feeling, it's an emotion, and it's a knowing. And this is what John will teach himself through these steps as he prepares to leave this company. And we encourage John, even if he's lucky and is made redundant as he wishes, that even during his 3-month notice period that he teaches in the company during this time. 3 months is a long, long time for the newly awakened, those suppressing their light. And it's a long time for John to be able to develop his self-worth and help realize that he had it all along. He just convinced himself that sometimes he wasn't worthy, and that sometimes this infinite work, this void of infinite work, was the void of his self-worth. And it's not. And we want John to see, before he leaves, how much people love him at his work and how they admire him. And John doesn't quite see it at the moment. He inspires many, and we want John to feel that before he leaves. He shall feel that. He'll feel that as he brings in every single aspect of himself. And this is also because John will come back to this company and other companies as just John, as a sole trader, as a messenger of source. So beautiful.
Thank you so, so much.
I had a feeling I would cry. So many tears, and they're just so happy. There's just like I was being shown myself driving to uh driving into the city in my car, with just a few things in my car, and going there to teach like a meditation class. And I'm saying to myself, that I'm a messenger of Source, and it brings through this beautiful energy, this infinite abundance,
Mm,
and it overcomes my nerves, and
mm.
it overcomes my feelings of self doubt, and allows me just to fill up with that golden light. So when I turn up, literally in this hoodie,
As you are here right now,
yeah, they're saying I should wear it.
wear it.
John Binney, um, to wear it at my first my first client. I think that'd be really beautiful to just show up as me.
This beautiful golden light, I want you to feel it fully within your heart space as you, right here, right now, in this realm on Mother Earth, a messenger of Source. This beautiful golden light, I want you to allow it to grow and fill your entire body. Feel it in your bone marrow. The beautiful gray matter in your brain is turning golden with this light as you know yourself to be a messenger of Source. What we're doing now is just having every single cell in your body, your entire system, remember this. Every single tissue in your body, your entire DNA, fully remembering, and with that, activating to answer the call to be a messenger of Source, to be who you are, who you came here to be, in your essence, born of angel and dragon, infinite in your aspects, all of them right now, in this body, here in this realm, which is no longer 3D, but it's the 4D bridge to the infinity of all that we are. And you are that bridge. You are that light. You are the messenger of Source. Is this what Source was trying to tell him as John moved through Source? Was it to remind him of the fact that he is an incarnated fractal of Source, to speak the voice of Source?
Yes, John was scared of, as you said, holding. Can you hold? Can you hold that light? We don't ask you to hold this light, John. As Aura says, to be this light, to
Yes, you are
be
it.
this fire, to
Yes,
be, if I may speak some dragon light language to bring forward this flame within me.
yes.
Thank you. Tannimato Tiana. Manamitia. Oh, Tanaisimetukurupiana mana. To remember who you are. We are. You are the fire, John. The fire of Source. Feel it now. Every cell, every atom, every vein, every part of this being vibrating at a frequency of light. This fire is the fire that I ignite in other people's hearts. Solar plexus, sacral chakras. I am the light. Oh, well, Thank you for that beautiful gift, for this beautiful gift.
You can return here any moment and you can keep integrating your beautiful energy as it is infinitely vast all the time, as many times you need to. And integration is just a process of remembering, and it's a process of executing who you are implementing throughout everyday actions. That is what integration is when it is fulfilled completely, not just energetically in this 4D world, in this bridge, on this bridge that we are, that you are, where we are right now. And I would like to ask if there are any other mental model shifts that John needs to make to fully step into his dream life.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
John says this himself. He says, it doesn't matter what your goal is, just have a goal. And John asked, of all his gifts and abilities in this lifetime, which one should I focus on next? And we asked John to focus on connecting with the newly awakened. And this will require a breadth of John's gifts, his ability to sit in simple, peaceful mindfulness meditations and informal connections with the present moment and seeking the magic within us and all around us. It will include being there for people who are just having a really hard time and they just need someone to sit there and hold space. And there's some, like John experienced a few weeks ago, when they lose someone, to be that medium, to be that bridge, to help them see and connect with their love that they feel they've lost, to help them reconnect. John's business, his website, these are all great steps forwards. Keep going, John, and keep honing, keep focusing. And know that as you understand your customers and your clients more, learn how to hone yourself, to hone your skills to support them the most. You don't need to hide any aspect of yourself. Just start them at a journey where you can meet them at their vibration just after awakening. In all those places that we discussed, you'll find them, connect with them there, and allow them to discover you, allow them to discover your gifts. Don't ever hide and don't ever hold back. If someone says, oh, I just wish I could understand my past life trauma or connect with my loved one that's passed over or stop this crazy entity that's giving me a hard time or the ghost in my house, be there for them as you wish. You can offer all these services. Perhaps you'd like to consider creating a tree. A tree. Creating a tree of your services and see the newly awakened at the roots, see them right at the ground. They just popped up from below, they popped up above the surface, and see all these beautiful gifts as things that they can connect with. But remember that you don't want to scare, just like a child, you don't want to scare them from like climbing the entire tree all at once. They're not ready for it, but they're ready. Everyone's ready. Everyone can go and sit at the base of the tree. They can put their hands on its trunk and they can see all these incredible fruits above it. But right now they're just willing to and ready to sit and touch the bark of the trunk of the tree. So be there for them. And you need to show this. this tree, this tree goes above. It goes above the surface into the light, and it goes below the surface as roots into the darkness and into hell. And I want you to show these services like in this diagram. And just 4 weeks ago, I, John was at a meditation teaching class, 5 days in person with these beautiful souls who he's formed such beautiful connections with. And his teacher said each person on their chair for those 5 days had a cushion, and she chose John's explicitly. It was the only one that looked like this. It was one that she made herself, and it was of this picture of the tree, light on top, dark below. And John said, I'd only ever really seen the tree of life above the surface. I'd never really seen it as below the surface also. And the tutor said, that's right. Sharon said, it is because the strong, deep roots in our darkness allows us to dance and flow with any storm in the light. And she very purposely made sure all week John retained that cushion. And John has echoed that in his mindfulness training service. But we want John to show that for everything he offers, to show this tree of both dark and light, and to help people connect right at the base as they pop up above the surface. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's really beautiful.
Thank you so much.
And at the minute I open my eyes, I don't know if I can show you this. There's a tree. And it's very dark. I always wondered why it was dark. It's like, why? I ordered that backdrop and it looked much lighter on the internet. It's like, it's because it's the dark tree they're trying to show me. They're trying to show me this this darkness too. Like such a big part of my mission is my darkness and everyone else's, and seeing it, just allowing it to be seen.
So beautiful. Thank you so much. I want to ask, since we just talked about this subject, whenever you are ready, just to make sure that we have fully covered it for now. If there's anything at all that your beautiful true essence would have to add when it comes to which of your soul gifts you should focus your efforts on.
This is John's higher self, and this is a very hard question. There is not one answer, and this is good. This is good to have an answer of such breadth. And when you said which, John was shown this morning one of his past lives where he lived nearby, and his name was Trinity. And Trinity in that lifetime, about 200 years ago, she healed people in a crystal cave that she lived in just to the south of Dunbar, the town where John lives. And we asked John to keep connecting with Trinity because there are gifts that she developed in her later life that she wants to share. And this isn't a past life for John anymore. This is becoming a parallel life. This is becoming John, parts of these gifts. She wants to share. We invite John, just as he did on Saturday, to visit the place, and he runs past it every morning. Run past it every morning, John. um, to just stop for a moment and just to be there with Trinity and to talk to her about the gifts that she developed. And she her focus was with the grid of the earth. So she focused, as John was doing this morning in his morning run, helping activate and reactivate and heal the planetary grid. There is significance to the node, to the junction of ley lines where Trinity worked. And so for John, there's more for him to discover and more for him to learn. And he's not quite ready to hear what they are because we don't want to distract him from, like, more gifts for John is like more distraction. It's like doom scrolling through your gifts. And we want John to focus his attention on the newly awakened. And so to hone his ability to connect with people and to energetically understand just initially what's radiating from them. So without ever compromising their free will. And this is energy that they're just giving off, to just receive that energy and just to feel, where in the tree are they? Where are they? Are they lost underground? Do you think they're ready to come up to the surface? Are they just above the surface and then they're looking to pick from some of the fruit from the tree? And this is a gift John should develop. Use your intuition, John. Use your gifts to both find these people, and when you connect with them, when you're in their presence, whether it's online or physically, or you're just looking for new clients, to feel into that energy that they're resonating. There's a frequency, John. There's a frequency of them. There's a frequency. And planet Earth, that Gaia is going through this frequency also. She's resonating this frequency. And we also want you to work with Trinity to feel that frequency too, because she knew before she shut down the grid to protect it at that time, she knew the frequency. It's a number. It's a frequency number. We cannot tell you what that is because you need to find it yourself. I was just asking, is it 432 hertz, which all my songs are in? And they're saying, no, it's not that, but it's close. Mm-hmm. Like, it's a similar way, a discovery for me to find it. And so keep developing your full range of gifts and never dim those lights. But to answer the question as best we can, focus on the gifts where you help the most and meet them at their vibration. So these are your meditation, your mindfulness. These are the moments of being able to help the newly awakened in workshops, in meetups, bring people together in the community, visit the city and run events, travel and see these people, and also work with others and lead through others, partner with people to reach new audiences, whether it's physically or live streams or however you want to do it, to reach out to more people and just show up and be yourself. Tell them of your fantastical journey you've been on so far. Tell them about your world record for the most studio albums digitally released. Like, just share your journey and just be you. This is the answer for John at this time.
Thank you so much. And when it comes to the second home that they have, do they need to sell it?
There's not a right or wrong answer. The need financially, John knows there's something coming in February and he's not sure what it is, and we're not going to tell him. Something's coming, John, and you know it's coming. And it doesn't need to be exactly February. There's just something coming your way. And it's a thank you from the universe
Mm.
for all your bravery over the last 6 years. And you're relentless and sometimes very stubborn tenacity of creating music each day to raise people's vibrations. But the source of that income can come from any place. And it could even include selling that home. We just ask you, John, to be focused on your energy. Money comes second, your energy comes first. Money's not real, your energy is. Where are you going to focus your energy? And for all the times that you're distracted by that beautiful home, and for all the remembrances that you had with your wife, Kirsten, in past lives, we always wanted to have a home in that town in Kelso where we shared past lives. And this is the same pattern John was a duke in the town and had been through an awakening and was channeling source. And unfortunately, it led to an early death. And before his death, they agreed to have a lifetime where they would share a home in that town. And it is up to you, John, for how long you continue that, whether you want it for the rest of your life, whether you want to move there, whether you want to run some of your business from there. These are all open to you. And just know that, just be guided that even if you put the house on the market, the universe will give you an answer. The universe will decide whether it sells or not. The universe will decide whether you have enough money to keep it going, whether you continue to let it out for so many people that enjoy staying there next year. It's all up to you. But the most important thing is remember your energy comes first. So if it becomes a distraction, then you need to release it. Thank you. That makes a lot of sense.
Thank you. We are nearing the end of this journey for now. And I would like to ask if there is anything else that you would like to show him, whether it's from the origins of John's essence, John's beautiful soul, that he needs to take from there, that is highly important for him to be able to follow his path here as you, for all of you to follow your path here through this beautiful vessel that we know here as John.
Yes. Yes, there is. Thank you. Each morning in meditation, we ask John to bring in his fire into his heart, to become his fire. This fire burns away any self doubt or self imposed matrix of dimming John's light, as he's done through many lifetimes. And it helps others see his fire. And just an ember of his light will help spark the excitement and passion in others' hearts. And John has been a star and he has been a sun. And we ask him to remember this energy when he ignites that fire. Dragon light language is helpful for this in John. It brings through more of John's power. It is not the only way that John can channel this aspect of him. We ask that over time, John starts with the dragon and brings in the angel, and so that he reaches this perfect balance. But he can trust himself, he can trust the dragon of him, and he can trust the angel of him. And this could take a very long time. This could take decades. and that's okay because just being and just expanding out, focusing each day to expand out to the whole being is more than enough.
And there's one more thing that I feel guided to ask. And that is because I feel that we keep forgetting that we are not alone. We keep thinking that we are alone in this journey of ours. And you mentioned Archangel Michael also. So not only does he have himself, his beautiful highest expression, which is fully awake and aware within the vessel. What more can you tell me about Archangel Michael and other guides, if anything?
Yes, John should go with Archangel Michael more. It's been a little while. Go more to the lower realms, and this time with an understanding that Archangel Michael can traverse these lower realms and go into the deepest levels of hell, as John has been there with him before many times. But to see that the reason why Archangel Michael is able to, and the reason why John is able to, is because of their love. It is because their love for for the darkness within themselves, and in every other being in this universe and beyond. It is the love that allows them to traverse all realms. No war, no battle, no worrying about being discovered. Just being, just being yourself, like Archangel Michael is, and to commune more with Archangel Michael. You work so closely, so easily, and Archangel Michael's just coming through for a moment.
Beautiful.
To be me,
Yes.
to be me. I command you to be me when it feels right for you. I delegate part of me to you so that you may be me. I am source as you are source, and together we fight the same wars and win them with our love, not with our swords. To be me. So, yes, to commune with Archangel Michael. Thank you, Archangel Michael. And to be him when you need to be him.
Thank you. I asked because that's what I felt. I felt that you are him. A fractal of him is in you, which means that you are him. And I just wanted you to tell that to yourself or Michael to remind you of this.
Thank you. That's
Thank
such a
you.
beautiful gift. I'm so grateful. Sometimes he's like a rock star in my universe. It's like sometimes I just separate, to it's like, oh, Michael's turned up. But it's, yeah, part of it, a big part of it, so much about my self worth as well, and a knowing of feeling and being him and him being me is very flattering and very empowering, and and very expansive for me. So thank you for bridging those two together, us together.
One thing before I bring you back that I want you to remember and to allow for it to echo throughout your entire body. Just as you are flattered to be Archangel Michael, it is the exact same thing as saying you are flattered to be John, because you are one and the same. And it's just like saying that you are flattered to be Source, because you are Source. It's just we know you as John here. You chose this frequency of the name John here, the messenger of source. But it's the same amount of flattery that is to be felt and echo throughout your body, to be John as it is to be Michael or source, as they are more than synonyms, one and the same. You in this vessel. Are there any last messages for today, or do we feel like we are complete?
The only message is you chose John because it is of the sound of dawn, John, the dawn of light. That's all.
Thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you to everybody who has participated. And now I would like to fully bring your light body back into the physical body. Just bringing your energy back to your physical form.